Hi, Adam Thomas from Balancing Touch, and last night I was watching TV and I caught an amazing program that I wanted to share with you, and it's about feet and a simple exercise and also a proper way of fitting shoes that will help you with balance and body pain, as well as just feeling good, right? So it's a really great exercise and I'm so happy that I caught it. It was on last night's program in Japan, and so luckily I have my wife here that can translate a lot of the information that they were talking about, so I want to share that with you today. So the issue that they were talking about in this program was that Japanese people were starting to wear looser fitting shoes that they could slip on and kick off a lot easier. Because in Japan, when you come inside into a house, you kick off your shoes and sometimes put on, slippers, walk around the house and do your thing, and then, slip back on your shoes and go outside, right? And for example, too, if you're at a restaurant, you would, come through the main door or whatever, and then sometimes you would sit at a table that's on a raised platform. And so you'd have to kick off your shoes there, sit cross-legged. And if you had to use the washroom, this is also kind of neat, is, you come off the platform, put your shoes on, go to the washroom, and there would be a pair of slippers that you would use. So you would kick off your shoes, put on the slippers, go and use the washroom. When you're finished there, come out, put your shoes back on, go back to the raised platform, kick your shoes off, and sit and enjoy the rest of your meal, right? So that sort of thing is very common in Japan. And so people, rather than, having to unlace their shoes and things like that, were starting to wear shoes that they could easily slip on and kick off. So what they were finding was the toes now were lifting off the ground when the person was walking. The toes were doing the job of holding the shoe on the foot, right? So the toes were going up like this to hold the shoe on. And over time, after wearing lots of this, the muscles were developing so that they were holding up and they weren't getting the full extent of touching the ground and pushing off like your toes do. Because when you're walking, your toes are actively engaged, moving as you walk. As you walk around, right? And so this was causing some issues like balance problems or body pain. Then in the program, they went on to explain how to fix this issue. And it's very simple. There's a foot exercise that you do, and then there's also just fitting the shoes properly. And they didn't go too much into detail about fitting the shoes properly, but what they did say was that when you're trying on shoes, to make sure that there's about 1 centimeter to 1.5 centimeters of space between the tip of the shoe to where your toes are. So you want about 1 centimeter and 1.5 centimeter space for your toes to move around. So if your toes are touching the shoe when they're in, that's not good, right? So you want a bit of space. And also another little hint that I've picked up along the way is when you're shopping for shoes, go later in the afternoon because the feet swell during the day. And so there's a better chance that your shoes will fit better in the afternoon than they will in the morning. Because sometimes if you just go right early in the morning and buy the shoes and your feet sort of expand and swell during the day, they might be uncomfortable later on when you wear them. So anyway, I tend to buy shoes later in the afternoon. And then the other part that they talked about was at the ankle where your foot fits in and where the tongue of the shoe would be, where you lace up, where you tie your shoes laces. Right there, if you can fit 2 fingers in, that's too much. So you want to not be able to fit 2 fingers in. So it's quite a snug fit that you want. And this is going to help to allow the toes to be able to move. They don't have to do the job of holding on to the shoe anymore so it doesn't fall off, right? So by having a bit more support and snugness around the ankle, your toes can move freely and stuff. And it was amazing that they showed somebody just fixing the shoe problem in 2 weeks. Already the footprint showed all 5 of the toes touching the ground, whereas before there was probably just the tip of maybe 1 or 2 of the toes, right? So quite an amazing improvement just by that. And then the other one is a simple toe exercise. Okay, so in this exercise, I find it best to kind of bring your one foot up over top. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your big toe between your hand here, and then each toe goes in between. And what you want to work up to, if you can, is put them as deep into your fingers as possible. Okay, so it's going to look like this. You're going to go in like that, assist with the other hand to get deep as possible, in like that. So if at first you can't really get all the way in, just try and get the tips in and then work from there, right? But I think I can do these ones, so let's try it. Okay, so basically you're folding your fingers inside like this. And then it's simple. All you're going to do is pull the toes back that way for a count of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to pull the toes back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you do a set of 15. So you go back again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And pull back again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for me, I find it a bit more comfortable to actually use my thumb in kind of like the solar plexus point, pull back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So you can just continue this. And then you go to the other side, right? And do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? For a set of 15 on each, right? And it takes a little bit of time, but wow, do your toes ever feel great afterwards, right? So it's a really good one. So then at the end of the program, they talk about the results they were getting. So the first story that they followed was they went into a gymnasium full of younger kids, and the kids were fitted properly with shoes, following the same rule: 1 to 1.5 centimeter toe room, and then around the ankle, make sure that you can't fit in. And then they showed the kids the foot exercise, and then so they all followed that. So then they came into the gym about 2 weeks later, and they were amazed at the results they were getting. The gym teacher was saying that the kids were, staying on task a lot better. They weren't tripping and falling and bumping into each other. And so it was an amazing improvement just over 2 weeks. And then they go and follow another story where they gave sort of middle-aged to elderly people the same 2 exercises, make sure that your shoes are fitting properly, and the toe exercises. And again, 2 weeks later, a lot of them had noticed that their pain in their neck and shoulders were decreased or practically gone, right? And in some of the cases, totally gone. And so they were a lot more comfortable during their daily routine and, work schedule. So that was a huge improvement. And, talking about reflexology, that's, working the head, neck, and shoulders, right? So we know this as reflexologists. So this little exercise would be amazing to, another little tool that you can give as homework for your clients, right? Because it's a great, easy, simple exercise for anyone to do, right? So it's a good one. And then they went to a swimming pool, and where they had given some of some high school students the same practice and same thing, the shoes and the exercise. And they were finding that their times were faster, actually, because I guess their response on their feet from jumping off into the water was a lot quicker, and maybe, you know, their strokes and everything were a lot smoother and stuff like that. But anyway, there was a result that was noticed even in high school athletes, right? So very cool program, and excited to share it with you. And so glad once again that my wife can translate everything for me, or else I would have no idea what's going on except for the visuals that they were all showing. But anyway, I thought it was important to share this with you. Hope you liked it. So on this channel, I talk a lot about reflexology tips and tricks, and basically trying to support your walk through this reflexology path that you're on. So if this is a channel that you're interested in, please subscribe, and if you hit that little bell icon, that will let you know when I have a new video coming out. So until next time, this is Adam in Japan, looking for stuff to help your feet. Anyway, talk to you later. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.